Well, the federal budget is coming out on Tuesday, but it doesn't appear once again that it will be balanced. To chat about this in more detail is the federal director of the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, Franco Terrazzano, who joins us once again from Ottawa. Franco, the parliamentary budget officer, is forecasting a deficit of $41 billion this year. Now, you say the feds have no plan in place to actually balance the budget?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a real bad news budget for taxpayers. A massive deficit, going to be around $40 billion. Of course, that means more debt added onto the backs of Canadians' kids and grandkids to pay back. Under Trudeau, this federal government has already essentially doubled the entire federal debt. And what this means is that more money is being wasted on interest charges on the federal debt. I mean, you're probably expecting in this budget year for interest charges to be around $50 billion, which is almost or about the same amount of money that the federal government sends to the provinces in health transfers. But if you look at projections, I mean, in a couple years, in 2028, interest charges on the debt could surpass the revenue that the federal government collects from its sales tax. So in only a couple of years, every time you go to the store and pay the federal sales tax, well, every penny collected will be going to pay interest charges on the federal debt. So totally unsustainable. And really, it appears like the Trudeau government doesn't really care about fiscal responsibility or helping taxpayers.
So, Franco, let's say you have the ear of Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland. What advice would you give her on where the federal government really needs to cut back?
First, stop wasting so much money, like when the federal government spent $8 million building a barn at Rideau Hall. Or, when Trudeau last fall spent $2 million on a 6-day trip to the Indo-Pacific region, where they racked up almost $200,000 on airplane food. But you also got to do the big things right. Cut down on the ballooning bureaucracy. The Trudeau government has added about 100,000 new bureaucrats, has handed out like $1 billion in bonuses, and also stop the corporate welfare. Right? We've heard the feds announce tens of billions of dollars in corporate welfare to build these battery plants. You know what? If you want to grow the economy, you should cut taxes, cut red tape, and cancel the corporate welfare.
He's the federal director of the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, Franco Terrazzano. Thanks so much for joining us today from Ottawa.